welcome back to BookWit, the podcast where we explore bold ideas, powerful books, and the subtle art of living well in a world that wants your attention 24/7.
That's right, BookWit, the only podcast where we decode life-changing books while giving just enough of a fuck to make it fun. By the way, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Jennifer, here to help you stop spiraling over things like unread group texts and whether Brad from work thinks your spreadsheet was too aggressive.
Today, we're talking about The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, the book that basically said, stop caring so hard about dumb stuff, and maybe your life won't suck.
Part 1. So, what's this book actually about? Hint, not ghosting your job and moving to Bali.
Yeah, it's not about becoming a cold, heartless robot who doesn't care about anything, even though, yes, your ex might still be living that vibe.
What Manson's really saying is this. You've got a limited supply of fucks to give, like emotional currency. So stop spending it all on stuff that doesn't pay you back.
Right? We treat every notification minor inconvenience and Karen at the office meltdown like it's DEF-CON 1. No wonder we're all burnt out and mainlining iced coffee.
Manson's message is basically, be pickier with your fucks. Not everything deserves your attention. You're not Spotify Premium. You don't owe the world unlimited streaming.
It's emotional minimalism. Marie Kondo, but for your brain. If it doesn't spark meaning or growth, yeet it out of your headspace.
Once you realize your emotional bandwidth isn't infinite, you stop trying to win every argument, fix every problem, or please every cousin in the group chat.
And the cool part is that's not selfish. It's smart. Because if everything matters, then nothing does. So start filtering the noise and focus on what's real.
Part 2. Choose your struggle. Sorry, you can't Netflix your way to a meaningful life.
Okay, here's one of Manson's spiciest truth bombs. Don't just chase what you want. Ask yourself, what pain are you willing to go through to get it?
Yeah, we all want the six-pack, the soulmate, the startup IPO, but we don't want the awkward combos, early mornings, or doing push-ups when our arms feel like noodles.
It's like saying, I want to be a rock star, but not wanting to play scales in your garage for 10 years. Cue sad guitar riff.
Manson flips the script. He's like, instead of asking, what do I want? Ask, what am I willing to suffer for? And honestly, that hits harder than my Sunday hangovers.
Same. Like, I say I want to write a book, but am I down to write garbage drafts while sobbing into snacks?
TBD.
Exactly. The point is, struggle isn't optional. It's inevitable. So pick one that actually gets you somewhere, one that builds you instead of draining you.
Because let's be real, chasing shallow goals hurts too. Trying to be perfect online, impressing people who don't care, it's suffering but with no payoff.
But when you choose your struggle, like learning something hard or fixing a relationship, the pain has purpose. It becomes part of something bigger.
And that's what makes the grind worth it. Not because it's fun, but because it matters, even if it doesn't trend.
So yeah, don't just ask, what do I want from life? Ask, what crap sandwich am I willing to eat and still come back for seconds?
Part 3, you're not special, aka why being a precious snowflake is kind of screwing you over.
So this chapter, a little spicy. Manson basically slaps us with, you're not special, in the nicest way possible. Kind of.
Yeah, it's not about killing your self-worth. It's about killing your ego. We've been spoon-fed this "you're amazing just as you are" stuff since birth, but sometimes that's just a sneaky way of avoiding growth.
Right? When you think you're too special, you stop taking feedback. Every problem is beneath you. Every inconvenience feels like a personal attack from the universe.
Meanwhile, life's out here throwing curveballs at everyone, and you're not exempt just because you had a 4.0 and a vision board.
Manson's like, look, you're not some cosmic unicorn, and that's actually freeing. Because if you're not uniquely broken, then your problems are solvable.
Exactly. That means you're not doomed, you're just human. Welcome to the club. Dues include anxiety, bad decisions, and occasional existential spirals.
Once you drop the "I'm special" baggage, you can finally show up and do the work, not because you're owed greatness, but because you earn it.
Part 4, the value of suffering. Okay, so Manson goes full therapist in this one. He's like, pain is part of life, but the key is choosing pain that means something.
Exactly. If you're gonna suffer, and you are, you might as well suffer towards something that makes you proud. Like saving for a trip instead of Uber Eatsing your paycheck.
Yes, it's like budgeting your emotional energy. Don't invest your stress into things that don't grow you.
Like being jealous of someone's Insta life? Useless pain. But showing up for a friend when it's hard, that's meaningful discomfort.
Pain with a purpose is a growth hormone. Pain without purpose is just emotional junk food.
So instead of asking, how do I avoid suffering, start asking, what's worth the pain? Because that answer says a lot about your values.
Part 5, you're always choosing, aka even doing nothing is a decision, sorry.
This chapter hit me in the teeth. Manson says even when you don't make a choice, you're still making a choice.
Yeah, not texting back? A choice. Avoiding the gym? A choice. Staying in a soul-sucking job? Yep, still a choice.
The whole point is you're in charge, even if it doesn't feel like it. And once you own that, you stop blaming and start moving.
It's like taking the wheel in Mario Kart. Even if the road sucks and someone just hit you with a banana peel, you're still steering.
And it's not about blaming yourself for everything. It's about owning your response. Responsibility doesn't equal fault.
You might not have caused the mess, but you still have to clean it up. Life doesn't come with a janitor.
But once you get that, you're free. Because if you choose this, you can also choose something better.
Part 6. You're wrong about everything, aka don't trust yourself too much. You're kind of clueless.
This one hit me in the teeth. Manson says you're wrong about a lot of things, and that's okay.
Yep, humans are basically walking Wi-Fi signals of flawed assumptions, biases, and awkward miscommunications.
And the more certain you feel, often the less accurate you are. It's like that one friend who's always confidently wrong about movie facts.
Manson's advice is stay curious, stay flexible, be ready to update your beliefs like they're iPhone software.
It's growth over ego. Admit when you're wrong, laugh at it, and move forward. That's real confidence, not pretending you got it all figured out.
So don't cling to being right. Cling to being open, because the world is way too complicated for anyone to have all the answers, including you, genius.
Part 7, Death Gives Life Its Meaning, aka why existential dread might be your best life coach.
So this chapter, buckle up. We're diving into the thing everyone avoids talking about unless they're in an indie film or a philosophy class.
Right? We walk around like life is an unlimited data plan. But spoiler alert, it's more like a 2 GB prepaid plan and you're already halfway through the month.
Exactly. And when you really get that you don't have forever, you start treating your time like it's Beyoncé tickets, valuable, limited, and not to be wasted on nonsense.
Manson tells a story about losing a close friend and how that shook him, not in a dramatic movie montage way, more like, oh wow, life isn't a dress rehearsal. I should probably stop doom scrolling.
It makes you rethink your metrics. Like, instead of, do people like me? You start asking, am I doing anything that actually matters? Kind of like when you stop obsessing over likes and finally go outside.
Totally. Death isn't there to scare you. It's there to sharpen you. It's the ultimate filter. Suddenly your group chat drama feels a lot less urgent, and calling your mom feels way more important.
It's giving Lion King vibes, like, remember who you are, but also, remember, you won't be here forever, so maybe go live with a little more guts and a lot less people-pleasing.
So how does it circle back to not giving a fuck? Simple. Once you realize your time is limited, you stop handing it out like free samples at Costco.
You start protecting your peace like it's Taylor Swift's unreleased album. You stop fighting dumb battles, chasing hollow goals, or refreshing emails at 1 a.m.
Because in the end, your life isn't judged by how many things you cared about, but by whether you cared about the right things.
And that, my friend, might be the subtlest and most badass art of all.
So yeah, maybe the ultimate subtle art is this. Care more on purpose about the people you love, the work that fills you, the life that's happening right now.
Because in the end, it won't be about how many fucks you gave, just whether you gave them the right things.
All right, that's it for today's episode of BookWit. If this gave you something to reflect on, share with someone who might be carrying too much emotion.
And remember, you don't need to care about everything. Just care deeply about the right things.
By the way, I've got a little quiz for you. How many references did you actually catch? Drop your wild guesses in the comments.
We'll see you next time. Until then, live intentionally.
And give fewer, better fucks.
Yeah, right.